Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle something that's a total game changer in modern JavaScript. I'm talking about async await.
So, you know that feeling, right? When you're staring at your code and it's just this pyramid of doom? They call it callback hell for a reason. You've got functions, inside functions, and trying to figure out what runs when, it's a nightmare. It just gets so messy, so fast. But what if I told you there's a super clean, elegant way to fix all of that?
And that's exactly where async await comes into play. You know, at its heart, it's really just a couple of keywords that work with something you're probably already familiar with, promises. But their superpower, they let you take all that chaotic asynchronous code, like fetching data from a server, and make it look and feel like it's just running step by step, one line after another. Super readable.
Okay, enough theory. Let's actually get our hands dirty and see how this thing works. We're going to write our first async function together, and you'll see just how much it cleans things up.
All right, take a look at this. This is a classic async function. See that little async keyword right there before the function? That's what unlocks all the magic. And inside, you see await. That's the real star. It tells JavaScript, hey, pause right here, don't move on until this fetch call is done, and we have our data. The result is code that just reads like a story. It's clean, it's linear. But let's break down exactly what's happening.
So here's the play-by-play. Step 1, you flag a function with async. That's your signal to JavaScript that you might use await in here. Step 2, the await keyword. This is your pause button. It literally stops the function in its tracks until that promise, say our data fetch, comes back with a result. Then, step 3, and this is crucial, you wrap your logic in a try-catch block. This is how you gracefully handle things when they go wrong, like a network error. And finally, there's this one absolute golden rule you have to remember.
And here it is, the most important thing to get about all this. An async function always, and I mean always, returns a promise. It doesn't matter what you return from it. Could be a number, a string, an object. You could return nothing at all. The function will automatically wrap that result in a promise for you. If what you return is a promise, well, it just returns that same promise. That's the deal. That's the core contract of how this works.
Okay, so our code is clean now. It's readable. That's awesome. But is it fast? That's the next level, right? This is where we need to talk about sequential versus parallel execution. Honestly, understanding this difference is what separates someone who just uses async await from someone who truly masters it.
So check this out. On the left, you've got the sequential way. We await the user, and only when that's finished, we start to await the posts. It works, sure, but it's like going to the deli, ordering your cheese, waiting for it to be sliced, and then going to order your meat, one thing after another. But look at the code on the right. If getting the user and posts aren't dependent on each other, you can use promise.all. This is like giving your order for both the cheese and the meat at the same time and just waiting for both to be ready. It kicks off both requests at once. It is a huge performance.
So here's the simple rule to tattoo on your brain. If you have a bunch of async tasks and one doesn't need to wait for the other, don't make them wait. Run them in parallel with promise.all. It's one of the easiest performance boosts you can give your app. Your users will definitely notice. All right, let's talk about something that catches so many developers out, even seasoned ones, putting async await inside a loop. This is a classic performance trap. But the good news is, once you see the right way to do it, you'll never fall for it again. So this is the mistake. You have a bunch of URLs, and you loop through them with a for-of loop, and you await the fetch inside that loop. What you're actually doing is fetching one URL, waiting, fetching the next URL, waiting, then the next, all the way down the list. It's totally sequential. For 10 URLs, it's like your app is taking 10 separate little breaks, one after the other. It's so slow.
Now here's the much better way. Instead of awaiting in the loop, you use .map on your array of URLs. This instantly creates a new array, but this one's full of promises. The magic is, just by creating them, you've already kicked off all the fetch requests. They're all running at the same time now. Then you just have a single await on promise.all that waits for the whole batch to finish. This is the pattern. This is what you want.
Whew. Okay, we've gone through a lot here. So let's take a second and boil it all down.
what are the absolute key takeaways? The rules you really need to remember to use async await like a pro.
All right, let's run through the checklist. Number 1, an async function always gives you back a promise. Period. No exceptions. Number 2, await is your pause button. It holds everything until a promise is done. 3, to make things fast, use promise.all. If your tasks don't depend on each other, run them all at once. 4, try catch. It's not a nice to have, it's your seatbelt. Use it to handle errors gracefully. And a final bonus tip. In modern JavaScript modules, you can use await all by itself at the top level of your file, which can make simple scripts even slicker.
So there you have it. You've now got the tools to write async code that's not just cleaner, but also way more efficient. You know the patterns, you know the pitfalls to avoid. The only question left is, what are you going to build with this? Thanks for tuning in to The Explainer.